Hi friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the biology full test paper with detailed solutions. Let us discuss the question and answer with detailed solutions one by one. Question number 1. A botanist discovered a mutant plant that was unable to produce materials that form Casparian strip. This plant would be: water in root moves through three pathways such as the apoplast pathway, symplast pathway and transmembrane pathways. Munch coined the term apoplast and symplast. So the answer for this question is option D. Unable to control amounts of water and solutes it absorbs. Question number 2. Storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on sheets. A storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on sheet called herbarium, and it serves as the quick referral system. So the answer for this question is option C. Serves as quick referral system in taxonomic studies. Question number 3. During the formation of recombinant DNA, the plasmid vector is cleaved by: some restriction enzymes must be used for cutting both the donor DNA and the plasmid vector, resulting in fragments with the same complementary sticky ends in order to make the recombinant DNA. So the answer is option D, the same enzyme that cleaves the donor DNA. Question number 5. Which of the following is mismatched pair disease and its related symptoms? Phenylketonuria is an autosomal recessive trait which is characterized by an inability of body to utilize essential amino acids. Phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine with the help of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, but in this disease the mutation appear in the gene which encodes for enzyme, due to which the transformation will stop. The phenylalanine will accumulate in the cerebrospinal fluid and causes mental retardation. So the answer for this question is option A. Phenylketonuria. The symptom is given: urine turns black on exposure to air, that is mismatched one. Question number 6. Who proposed the Operon model of gene regulation in prokaryotes? The Operon model of prokaryotic gene regulation was proposed by Jacob and Monod. Operons are group of genes coding for related proteins and are arranged in units. It is a part of DNA which act as single regulated unit having one or more structural gene, an operator, a promoter and a regulator gene. So the answer for this question is option A, Jacob and Monod. Germinating barley grains are used in the preparation of: depending upon the type of raw materials used for fermentation and type of processing, with or without distillation, different types of alcoholic drinks are obtained. Some examples are given here. Beer produced from the fermentation of different starch types such as rice and malted barley. Cider, it is also known as apple wine, and it is produced through the fermentation of apple juice. Wine, it is produced from the fermentation of grapes. Spirit, a distilled beverage. Spirit or liquor is an alcoholic beverage containing distilling, that means concentrated by distillation. So the answer for this question is option D, beer. Question number 9. Regarding Miller's experiment, find the correct match. The experimental proof of theory of chemical evolution was given by Urey and Miller in the year of 1953, who created primitive atmospheric condition in the laboratory by using electric discharge in a closed flask containing methane, hydrogen, ammonia in the ratio of 2:1:2 ratio and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. So the answer for this question is option C. Regarding Miller's experiments, the correct match is energy source, the electric discharge. Question number 10. Starch content of potatoes can be increased by using a bacterial gene known as: Transgenic potato having a high starch content was created by using ADP glucose pyrophosphorylase gene. So the answer is option B, ADP glucose pyrophosphorylase gene. Question number 12. Grafting is not successful in monocots, but it is successful in dicots because they have grafting or graftage is a horticultural technique where plant tissues are joined together to continue their growth together as a single plant. The upper part of the combined plant is called the scion, while the lower part is called as rootstock, which is attached to the ground. So the answer for this question is option B, cambium for secondary growth. Grafting is not successful in monocots due to the absence of cambium for secondary growth. Question number 13. Which is correct match? So here there are 4 options are given. From that, option C is correctly matched. Hormone releasing IUD LNG20, that is correctly matched. The remaining 3 options are incorrectly matched. So the correct option is C. Question number 14. How many megaspore mother cells are required to produce 100 eggs during meiosis? Megasporogenesis is the process of the formation of megaspore in flowering plants. Diploid megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and forms 4 haploid megaspore tetrad, unlike microspore tetrad, which were formed from pollen mother cell after meiosis, and all 4 microspores were functional in tetrad. In most of the common cases, only 1 out of 4 megaspore remains viable. So this is called as functional megaspore. Only the functional megaspore develop further mature embryo sac. Such development is called as monosporic embryo sac development. The remaining 3 undergoes disintegration. So the answer for this question is option A. There are 100 cells required to produce 100 eggs. Question number 16. Climax community is a historic term for forest. Climax community is a stable community of ecological succession. For example, an ecological community where plant and animals remain stable with each other in one environment. So the answer is option D, lost stable community. Question number 17. Read the following statement. Which of the following is incorrect? Hormonal control of male reproductive system. Testes are heterocrine in nature as they behave as primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. The testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and Leydig cells. The growth, functioning and maintenance of secondary sex organ such as epidermis, vasa differentia, axillary glands and penis are under the control of testosterone hormone secreted by Leydig cells of the testis, which in turn controlled by ICSH secreted by adenohypophysis, while those seminiferous tubules are controlled by follicular stimulating hormone. Androgen like testosterone also plays a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis and also gives negative feedback for inhibiting the synthesis of gonadotropin releasing hormone and luteinizing hormone. So the answer for this question is option D. The primary regulator of Leydig cell secretion is FSH. So that is the incorrect one. Question number 19. Smallest free living organism is? The prokaryotic cell is represented by bacteria, blue-green algae, PPLO, Pleuropneumonia-like organism. Mycoplasma is the smallest, simplest living organism capable of autonomous growth and reproduction. So the answer is option C, Mycoplasma. Question number 20. Which one is an important constituent of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system? The juxtaglomerular apparatus, that is JGA apparatus, plays a complicated regulatory position. A fall in glomerular blood pressure, GFR, can set off the JG cells to secrete renin, leading to the conversion of angiotensinogen in the blood to angiotensin 1 and further angiotensin 2. The later conversion is carried out with the help of angiotensin converting enzyme as a powerful vasoconstrictor. Angiotensin 2 increases in the glomerular blood pressure and thereby GFR. Angiotensin 2 additionally activates the adrenal cortex to release aldosterone, which facilitates the reabsorption of Na plus and water from the distal parts of the tubule. This also increases the blood pressure and consequently the GFR. So the answer for this question is option A, JGA cells. Question number 21. Match the following and mark the correct option. The sternum is flat bone located in the middle of the chest, and its function along with ribs is to protect the vital organs, heart and lungs. The glenoid cavity is a shallow and filiform articular surface that articulates the humerus with the shoulder joint. Pectoral girdle attaches the upper limb bones to the axial skeleton. The freely movable joint entirely is enclosed with a membrane filled with lubricant known as synovial fluid, helps to provide extra cushioning. The vertebrae has cartilaginous joints designed for weight bearing, and joints between the articulate articulate facets known as facet joints allows for gliding motion between the vertebra. So the answer is option B. The correctly matching one is B. Question number 22. In maize and sugarcane stem, stilt roots arise from. Stilt roots are the adventitious aerial roots that are modified for plant support. They are formed if the stem of the plant is thin and long, if the plant is growing near river banks, ponds, etc. Stilt roots develop obliquely from the basal nodes of the stem as in sugarcane, maize, sorghum, pandanus, etc. So the answer is option B, arise from lower nodes. Question number 23. Each skeletal muscle fiber is surrounded by thin connective tissue sheath called. There are total 639 muscles in the human body. Depending upon striations, the muscular tissue is divided into striated and non-striated muscles. Striated includes the skeletal and cardiac muscles, while non-striated includes smooth muscles. Muscle is covered by epimysium in the muscle. The muscle fibers are arranged in groups called as fasciculi. Each fasciculi consists of muscle fibers which are surrounded by endomysium. So the answer is option B, endomysium. Question number 24. What is the location of cardiovascular center that controls the heart rate and strength of contraction? It is located in medulla. So the option is D. Question number 25. Consider the following four statements whether they are correct or wrong. From that, two wrong statements together. The sporophyte of mosses is more developed than liverwort. The simplest sporophyte that is found in Rixia, it is commonly called as liverwort, is represented by capsule. In Funaria, a moss, the most complex sporophyte is found. The sex organs are Antheridia and Archegonia are formed at the tip of the leafy shoots in sexual reproduction. The zygote develops into the sporophyte after fertilization, that is composed of a foot, seta and capsule. Spores are contained in the capsule. Following meiosis, spores are produced. There is an elaborate spore dispersal mechanism for the mosses. However, due to the presence of intercalary meristem in Anthocerus, the most advanced sporophyte is found. Finus is a gymnosperm. It's a monoecious plant that bears male and female cones on various branches of same plant. The genera such as Selaginella and Salvinia known as Heterosporus. So the answer for this question is option B. Statement A and D are wrongly given. Question number 26. Which of these causes root initiation from cut end of stem? Auxin means to grow. The class plant growth regulators, which are the following properties. NAA and IBA both are essential for root initiation from cut end of stem. So the answer is option C, both of the above. Question number 27. The extranuclear genetic material of bacteria is known as. The cytoplasm of bacterial cell contain an extranuclear genetic material which is called as plasmid. So the answer is option C. Question number 28. Who first reported that plants purify foul air? Joseph Priestley was an English preacher who was well known for his work on gases. He studied the role of gas in alcohol fermentation and researched the properties of the gas, especially carbon dioxide, and by adding it to water, he invented soda water. In addition, he also discovered a gas which was later named as oxygen by French scientist Lavoisier. So the answer is option B. Joseph Priestley first reported the plant purify foul air. Question number 29. The lowest temperature of any land mass of the universe was recorded in Asian Russia is the coldest inhabited places in the world, with having the climate that is characterized by frigid winters. Answer is option D, Siberia. Question number 31. In lungs, there is a definite exchange of ion between RBC and plasma. Removal of carbon dioxide from blood involves. After the exchange of gases in this alveolar level, the gases are transported. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported by the blood. There are three main ways carbon dioxide is transported. Nearly 7% total in the dissolved state in the plasma of the blood, 23% in the form of carbaminohemoglobin, 70% in the form of bicarbonate ions. So the answer is option B, efflux of Cl- ions from RBC. Question number 32. The secondary metabolites belonging to same category are. Here some examples are given: heparin, vinblastine, rubber, resin, carotenoids. From that, A and D. A is heparin and D is resin. So the secondary metabolites belonging to same category. So the answer for this question is option C. A and D belongs to same category. Question number 33. Bivalents are formed in. During zygote of prophase 1, pairing of homologous chromosome occurs. By coming side by side, the homologous chromosome comes to pair, and this pairing is known as synapsis. The pair of synapsed chromosome forms a complex which is known as bivalent. So the answer is option C. Bivalent are formed during zygote stage. Question number 35. Which of the following statements are correct for chemical synapse? Chemical synapse relay information with the help of chemicals. They are slow and steady in nature. A chemical synapse is gap between two neurons in which the information passes chemically. The chemical are called as neurotransmitter molecules that are filled in synaptic vesicles present at axon terminals. This chemical is commonly called as acetylcholine. So the answer is option C. From the given four statements, first and third are correct. Question number 36. Which of the following hormones secreted from anterior pituitary has direct action on body rather than having action on any other gland? The pituitary gland is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk and located in a bony cavity called sella turcica. It is divided into two, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is called as adenohypophysis. The posterior pituitary is called as neurohypophysis. The pars distalis region of the pituitary produce the following hormones such as growth hormones, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Pars intermedia secretes only one hormone called MSH. So the answer for this question is option D, growth hormone. Question number 37. Which of the following reactions does not take place in cell organelle that is referred to as powerhouse of the cell? Glycolysis is a 10-step process where glucose is converted into pyruvic acid or pyruvate. During this process, in this sixth step, the conversion of glycerol D3-phosphate to 1,3-bisphosphate glycerate occurs. This is an important pathway of energy during glycolysis, which is aided by the enzyme glycerol D3-phosphate dehydrogenase. The reduction of NAD occurs by accepting the hydride ion or the hydrogen atom from GAP, and the formation of NADH is absorbed. So the answer for this question is option B, glycerol D3-phosphate dehydrogenation. Question number 38. Z line bisects. A myofibril is a unit of muscle cell. Each myofibril has alternate light and dark bands on it. The dark band contains myosin and called A or anisotropic band, where the light band called I or isotropic band contains actin filament. In the center of each isotropic band is an elastic fiber called Z line, which is bisected. So the answer is option D, Z line bisects I band. Question number 39. In a Mendelian dihybrid cross, the probability of getting seeds with genotype capital R, small y, small y, capital R, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y, and capital R, capital Y in F2 generation is respectively. A dihybrid cross is a cross between two different lines or genes that differ in two observed traits. We compare two different characteristics in dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, the genotypic ratio is capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, capital R, small y, small y, small r, small y in the ratio of 1:2, 2:4, 1:2, 1:2:1. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 40. The most primitive ancestor of human is known as. The most primitive ancestor of human is Rompithecus. Dryopithecus and Rompithecus. About 50 million years ago, these primates were hairy and walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Australopithecus 2 million years ago, it is lived in East African grasslands. Homo habilis, first human-like beings. Homo erectus 1.5 million years ago, fossils discovered in Java in 1891. Neanderthal man 1 lakh to 40,000 years back lived near East and Central Asia. Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens arose in Africa during Ice Age between 75,000 and 10,000 years ago. Question number 42. Migration of cancerous cells from the site of origin to other part of the body forming secondary tumor is called. Migration of cancerous cells from the site of origin to other parts of the body forming secondary tumor is called as metastasis. So the answer for this question is option D. Question number 43. Identify the role of lectins in the formation of root nodules in legumes. Lectin is a carbohydrates binding protein. It helps in the regeneration of compatible rhizobium and help in plant defense. So the answer is option C. Regeneration of compatible rhizobium by host. Question number 44. Which of the following statement is not incorrect regarding the partition? So the answer for this question is option B. Relaxin hormone relaxes the pubic symphysis during partition. So the statement is not incorrect regarding the partition. Question number 45. Select the incorrectly matched pair. Algal fungi, example albigo, that is correct one. Fungi imperfecti, example Colitotrichum, that is correct. Club fungi, agaricus is given, that is incorrectly matched one. Sac fungi, neurospora, that also correct. So the answer for this question is option C. Club fungi, aspergillus. Basidiomyces are commonly called as club fungi, examples agaricus, Puccinia, stinkons. Question number 46. In an inflorescence where flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal succession, the portion of the young floral bud shall be. The flowers are in the modified shoot, in which the shoot apical meristem is converted to the floral meristem. Internodes don't elongate and therefore the axis gets condensed. The effects produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes rather than leaves. The shoot tip transforms into flower, then it will be always solitary. The arrangement of the flowers on the floral axis is referred to as inflorescence, depending on the fact that if the effects get converted into flower or continues to grow. So the answer for this question is option B, distal. Question number 47. In ecological succession, the primary succession means the development of communities only on newly exposed habitat with no record of earlier vegetation. An important characteristics of all communities is that composition and structure constantly change in response to the changing environmental conditions. So the answer for this question is option A. Species response and community response will be observed in ecological succession. Question number 48. Which of the following mouth parts of cockroach are unpaired? The anterior end of the head of the cockroach bears appendages forming biting and chewing type of mouth parts consist of labrum, a pair of mandible, pair of maxillae and a labium. Within the cavity enclosed by mouth parts, a median flexible lobe acting as tongue, it is called as hypopharynx, is present. So labium or lower lip fused second maxillae. So the answer for this question is option D. Labrum and lapopharynx. Mouth parts of cockroach are unpaired. Question number 49. The homosporous pteridophytes are, depending upon the nature of spores produced from the spore mother cells, pteridophytes can be broadly classified into two categories. Homosporous, example Lycopodium, Dryopteris. These ferns having free-living gametophytes produce same kind of spores. Heterosporous ferns such as Selaginella, Azolla, Salvinia, etc. produce two types of spores. Smaller one is called as microspores, larger one is called as megaspores. So the answer for this question is option C, having free-living mostly photosynthetic gametophyte. Question number 50. The nucleic acid as the infective part of the viruses was proved by Hershey and Chase. So the answer for this question is option A. The direct evidence that genetic material is DNA was obtained from Hershey and Martha Chase experiments in the year of 1952. Question number 51. Growth is a Growth is an irreversible process in which there is increase in size, increase in volume or mass, increase in weight of the part or whole organism. So the answer for this question is option C. Growth is a unidirectional forward process. Question number 53. Read the given examples of animal interactions. The relationship between two organisms of different species in which one of the benefited while the other is neither harmed nor benefited is called commensalism. An epiphyte growing on other plants like mango gets to benefit from the shelter but host neither derives any apparent benefit. Barnacles growing on the back of blue whales benefits in the form of shelter. Whale remains unaffected. Clownfish that live among sea anemone gets protection from the predators which stay away from the stinging tentacles of sea anemones. Cattle ergots search widely for food close to where the cattle are grazing because the cattle has the move stir off and flush out from the vegetation insects that otherwise might be different for the ergots to find and catch. So the answer is option D, commensalism. Question number 54. Read the following statements carefully. Conservation of biodiversity. So here there are some statements are given. For this question, the answer is all the species on earth have their own intrinsic value, even if it may not be of current or any economic value to us. Our moral duty is to care for their well-being and pass on our biological legacy. This becomes an ethical argument as it is factually true. Hence, we have to conserve biodiversity. So the answer for this question is option A. See the statement A. The conservation of biodiversity for philosophical or spiritual needs to realize that every species has intrinsic value and moral duty to pass over biological legacy for the future generations. So that is the correct option, the B. Conservation of biodiversity for direct economic benefits like food, medicine, industrial products, etc. So that also correctly given. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 57. Spray of Bt spores protects certain fruit trees against Bacillus thuringiensis. It is commonly called as Bt. Is a microbial biocontrol agent that can be introduced to control butterfly caterpillars. So the answer for this question is option D, insect larva. Question number 58. First reaction in photosynthesis is light plays a vital role in the process of glucose synthesis. There are two major phases takes place during photosynthesis. One is light reaction, that is light dependent reaction. Light energy with appropriate wavelength heats the chloroplast of the cells and eventually the chlorophyll molecules. So the answer for this question is option B, excitation of chlorophyll molecule. Question number 61. The phagocytic WBC in the blood are PMNL, polymorphonuclear leukocyte or neutrophils, and monocytes are the WBCs in the blood which are phagocytic scavengers. So the answer for this question is option B, PMNL and monocytes. Question number 62. Consider the statements given below regarding contraception and answer the directed thereafter. From the given four statements, which two of the above statements are incorrect? See the statement first one. Medical termination of pregnancy during the first trimester is generally safe. That is correct one. See the second one. Generally chances of contraception are nil until the mother breastfeeds the infant for up to 2 years. So that is incorrect statement. Third one. Intrauterine device like copper T are effective contraceptives. That is correct. Emergency contraceptive pills may be taken up to 1 week after coitus to prevent conception. So that is wrongly given. From the given four statements, second and fourth statements are incorrect. Emergency contraceptive pills may be taken up to 1 week after coitus to prevent contraception is wrong. Question number 63. From the given options, find out the correct floral formula for flower having the following characters, namely actinomorphic, bisexual, 5 united sepals, 5 united petals, stamens 5 and epipetalous, bicarpellary, syncorpus with superior ovary. For this question, the answer is option B. See the first symbol, actinomorphic, bisexual. Calyx consists of 5 sepals united, written within the bracket, and corolla consists of 5 petals united, given within the bracket. Then androecium 5 epipetalous, gynoecium bicarpellary, syncorpus superior ovary. So the correct option is B. Question number 64. Which of the following is an incorrect statement with respect to blood plasma? From the given four statements, plasma is golden yellow straw colored liquid portion of the blood which constitutes 55% of blood. It is mainly constitute the following: proteins, nutrients, excretory substances, secretions, inorganic salts, gases. The clotting or coagulation is process that occurs at the site of an injured blood vessel in which blood changes into thick jelly-like lump at the injured site to prevent further loss of blood or hemorrhage. So the answer for this question is option D. Factor for coagulation or clotting of blood are also present in the plasma in active form. So that is the incorrect statement with respect to blood plasma. Question number 65. Which of the following supports a large number of organisms? Food web supports a large number of organisms, is an interconnected food chain. So the correct answer is option C, food web. Question number 66. In lichens, which of the following is associated with the formation of male and female gametes? fungal partner only. In lichens, the fungal partner only associated with the formation of male and female gametes. So the answer is option A. Question number 67. A specific nucleotide sequence to which RNA polymerase attaches to initiate transcription of mRNA from a gene. Promoter gene is a sequence present in 5 end of sense strand which initiates transcription activity. So the answer is option A, promoter gene. Question number 68. Which of the following group is facing the maximum threat of extinction? From the given 4 groups, amphibians are a group facing maximum threat of extinction. Presently, more than 50,000 species worldwide are facing the threat of extinctions. From that, 32% are amphibians alone. So the answer is option C. Question number 69. Which of the following represent the structure of nucleotide? Phosphate, sugar and nitrogenous base together called as nucleotide. Nucleotide without phosphate group is called as nucleoside. So the answer for this question is option C. Phosphate, sugar and nitrogenous base. Question number 70. Which of the following condition is observed if the temperature of scrotum rises by 2 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius? The testes are extra-abdominal and are situated within the muscular pouch known as scrotum. The scrotum helps in the maintaining the low temperature of testes 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than normal internal body temperature, which is necessary for spermatogenesis. So the answer for this question is option C. Spermatogenesis is inhibited and the fertility is reduced. Question number 71. In a culture of E. coli, the cell population increased from 1.5 into 10 to the power of 6 cells per ml to 12 into 10 to the power of 6 cells per ml in 36 minutes. The generation time is. Cell division occur in all organisms and the DNA replicates in it. It is also responsible for cell growth. The cell division, DNA replication and cell growth constitutes the cell cycle. In eukaryotes, the cell division takes place once in 24 hours and is only 90 minutes. In question, it is given E. coli cells population is increased from 1.5 into 10 to the power of 6 to 12 into 10 to the power of 6. First it becomes double. It will be 3 into 10 to the power of 6. In the second generation 6 into 10 to the power of 6, and after third generation it becomes 12 into 10 to the power of 6. So it requires 3 generations. So the generation time is 33 divided by 3 equal to 12 minutes. So the answer is option C, 12 minutes. Question number 73. Which is not an opiate narcotic? Opioids are drugs that binds to specific opioid receptors present in our central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. Amphetamine is a stimulant. It is a potent central nervous system stimulant that is used in the treatment of attention deficit disorder. So the answer for this question is option A. Amphetamine is not an opiate narcotic. Question number 74. Vexillum, LA and Keel. Vexillum is a type of estivation seen in the family Fabaceae. There are 5 petals. The odd petal that are largest posterior and outermost called as vexillum. The service called as standard. It covers 2 wing petals. The service called as alae, which in turn covers 2 small fused petals called as keel petals called as carinae. So the answer is option C, Kerala. Question number 76. The P wave is an ECG indicates. ECG is a electrocardiogram which show electrical activity of heart. P wave show contraction or depolarization of atria. P wave mark beginning of new cardiac cycle by start of atrial systole, that is atrial depolarization, making it contract and pump blood into ventricles. So the answer for this question is option B. P wave in an ECG indicates atrial depolarization. Question number 77. Hormones like iodothyronins functions by. Hormones like iodothyronins functions as eventually forms hormone receptor complexes that bind to DNA. So the answer is option C. Question number 78. Plastids present in the unilluminated cells are. Plastids are found in plant cells and they bear on specific pigments which impart specific color to plants. Based on the presence or absence of type of pigments, they are classified into chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Leucoplasts are colorless plastids of various shapes and sizes with some stored nutrients. So the answer for this question is option C, leucoplast. Question number 79. Mesoderm in schizocoelomate is formed from. The answer for this question is option D. The mesoderm of schizocoelomates is formed by 4D cells. Question number 80. Glucose is a monosaccharide or building blocks of all carbohydrates, and it can be polyhydroxyaldehyde. It is always called as aldose or ketose. So the answer for this question is option A. Glucose is a aldose exosugar. Question number 81. The selection of resistant bacteria and industrial melanism are examples of. The selection of resistant bacteria and industrial melanism are examples of natural selection. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 82. Select the incorrect statement. Species diversity declines with increasing distance from the equator as a move towards either north or south, that is latitudinal gradient. The tropics from 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degrees south are very rich in species diversity. Polar regions have very small number of species because polar regions face frequent glaciations and are less seasonal and non-predictable, which does not promote niche specialization. In tropics, the amount of solar energy available is more, which in turn lead to high productivity. In temperate areas, harsh conditions occur only during winters, but in poles, such conditions prevail throughout the year and few resources to support species. So the answer for this question is option A. Species diversity increases as we move away from equator towards the poles. That is the incorrect statement. Question number 83. Select the mismatched one. Zygus is a dioecious plant. They produce male cones. Male plants and female sporopils aggregate in separate plant. The plant of Zygus has a long erect stem with a crown of leaves. Coralloid roots are the characteristics of this plant, which bear cyanobacteria for nitrogen fixation. Pinus is a monoecious plant. Both male and female cones are present in the same plant. Ecositum is a homosporous fern, while Selaginella and Salvinia are heterosporous. So the answer for this question is option A. Pinus is a monoecious plant. That is given wrongly. Question number 84. The smallest element or subdivision of a gene which can be affected by mutation is muton. The smallest mutable place of the cistron, muton, is a term coined by Benzer. The minor section of gene known as single pair of nucleotides that may be involved in mutation event. So the answer is option C. Question number 85. Given below is the diagram of a typical leaf in which of the following all four parts labeled. See the diagrammatic representation. Here A represented as lamina or leaf blade, B represented as axillary bud, C is stipule, D is leaf base. So the correctly matching option is option A. Question number 86. The cell wall is absent in which of the following? Cell wall is absent in euglenoids. They are unicellular protists found in freshwater habitats and damp soils. The cell wall is absent around the unicellular body. The latter is surrounded by lipoproteinaceous membrane which is covered by pellicle. This pellicle is responsible for providing flexibility. So the answer is option C. Question number 87. The correct composition of A and B chains of human insulin is A chain with 21 and B chain with 30 amino acids. So the correct option is option A. Question number 89. Number of histone proteins in each nucleosome core is. A typical length of DNA is much more compared to the cell. In eukaryotes, the DNA is packed in very precise and condensed manner to form of the chromosome. This packaging needs involvements of various types of proteins. Histones are positively charged proteins that stabilize the DNA coil. So the answer for this question is option A. 8 histone proteins in each nucleosome. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best.